Mirror, mirror, when I look into a mirror, is it her face I see? Her right is my left, double moles, dimples and all. My right is her left, unblemished. We are exact opposites, Kaylee and me. Mirror image identical twins. One egg, one sperm, one zygote divided, sharing one complete set of genetic markers. On the outside, we are the same, but not inside. I think she is the egg. So much like our mother, it makes me want to scream. Cold, controlled. That makes me the sperm, I guess. I take completely after our father. All daddy, that's me. Codependent, cowardly. Good, bad, left, right. Kaylee and Rayanne. One egg, one sperm, one being, split in two. And how many souls? Interesting question, don't you think? I mean, if the Supreme Being inserts a single soul at the moment of conception, does that essence divide itself? Does each half then strive to become whole again, like a starfish or an earthworm? Or might this soul clone itself, create a perfect imitation of something yet to be defined? In this way, can a reflection be altered? Or does the maker, in fact, choose to place two separate souls within a single cell to spark the skirmish that ultimately causes such an unlikely rift? Do twins begin in the womb or in a better place? Hello, welcome to the book review blog. I am your book reviewer, and today we are going to review the book Identical by Ellen Hopkins. And what I've read to you is the first of two poems in this book. Like the Crank series, this book is written in poetic form. It is not a series of multiple poems, but by different authors, completely different authors. Identical is kind of interesting because, as it said before, it talks about identical twins who are identical down to the last mole, down to every facial feature. Their names are Kaylee and Rayanne. They live in a place in California. They have two parents. Their mother whose name is Kay, is a politician. All through the book, she's striving to be a congresswoman. And their father, Raymond, is a judge of some sort. I don't know exactly. They don't really go into what kind of judge he is, but he's a very powerful judge, and he really likes his job. So I thought that was cute that Kay and Raymond produced twins, Kaylee and Rayanne. And like they said, Kaylee is like their mother Kay, and Rayanne is like their father Ray. One of the things that you know in this book is that even they're high school students, and they Kaylee is really getting her father's love and attention, and Rayanne is not. Rayanne really craves her father's attention since he's the only one that's really home, because their mother is, like I said, a congresswoman, so she's traveling all through California to win an election that's coming up in the book. So, but unfortunately, the love that Kaylee receives from her father is not father-daughter appropriate. It is abused. Kaylee is sexually abused multiple times from her father. It started when she was a young girl and continues. It doesn't say how often, but often enough. And Rayanne, it seems that she is part of it as well, or she watches it happen, and it doesn't tell anybody, but wonders why their father cannot show any love or anything towards her, especially, I guess, father-daughter is what she wants. But and she knows that what he is doing is wrong to Kaylee, but his lack of love for Rayanne causes her to show love in other, or find it in other ways, meaning she finds kind of sexual pleasure with other men, and she mixes love for sex, basically. And she first gets with a guy named Mick, and later with a guy named Ty, and both she wants just plain sex, and mostly mixing sex and drugs together. These drugs are pot, and so that's kind of where she kind of goes on kind of a downward spiral, and Kaylee goes on kind of a similar downward spiral, but she does have a male friend. Later in the book, he does kind of become her boyfriend. His name is Ian. They've known each other since childhood, but Ian tries to get close to her and be kind of a boyfriend to Kaylee, and kind of get close to her, but because she's scarred emotionally from what her father is doing, whenever Ian tries to get close, Kaylee thinks of her father and pushes away bitterly and says, "No, I don't want that." And Ian knows that something is wrong, and he tries to kind of push Kaylee to tell him, you can tell me anything, but Kaylee's not ready to tell him anything of what's going on. So that kind of goes on, and it flip-flops between the two girls all in this book, and Kaylee starts to really rebel in other ways like that. She finds herself taking it out on her body by binge eating, and but yet as she's binge eating, she doesn't seem to be gaining any weight, and but while she's binge eating, Rayanne is purging because she sees Kaylee put in so much in her body and it makes her sick, so she ends up purging. And Kaylee also later on is finding ways to hurt her body by cutting. I think she cuts herself accidentally while shaving, but then she realizes that actually feels good, and she finds other ways to cut her body like that, and things like that. And they're just very serious, very kind of melodramatic things that go on with both of them, and it's just kind of the same thing happens on, and it just gets out of control. Their mother does make several appearances, just little short ones, as they get closer and closer to the election. Her mother does end up winning the election, and she does move on to D.C. To represent California in the Congress, and just going on and on just through their shame spiral. Rayanne with her just using her body for sex and drugs and things like that, and Kaylee just binging and cutting herself. It does kind of have a climactic end. I will not tell you what happens, but you have to read this book. It's very good. I know my review isn't, it's just kind of, that's what happens. It's a good read. It does deal with very serious stuff. They do talk about an accident that happens while they were very young, when they were like I guess 10, their father was driving drunk and they got into an accident that scarred their family, physically and emotionally. So, and they're just kind of living all through that. So, but it's very good. I do recommend reading it, and that's it for my review. The next review or book I'm going to review is the second book in the Dark Tower series, which is called The Drawing of the Three, and that is by Stephen King. So that is my review, and I hope you have a good evening and happy reading.